Hamlet was contemplating the weighty question of whether life or death was his preferred path. Securing a patent or not securing a patent may not mean your life or death, but it may mean success or failure for your firm. All firms desire sustainable competitive advantages. We will consider 8 tactics and explore the strengths and weaknesses of each. Tactics include trade secrets, patents, most importantly utility patents, but occasionally design patents, continuous and rapid improvement, exclusive supply arrangements with producers of critical precursors, first mover advantages, scale, regulatory fiat, and brand polish. We will consider each of these 8 tactics in turn on the next 8 slides. First, every new idea begins as a trade secret. The question you must ask yourself is, how long can we keep this notion as a trade secret? One of the most secretive and compartmentalized endeavors in human history was the Manhattan Project. The Trinity detonation occurred on July 16, 1945. On August 29, 1949, just over 4 years later, the Soviets detonated their copy. That's a long-lived trade secret. The more people who must be read into the details, the shorter the time frame of an effective trade secret. Patent law awards claims to the first to file, not the first to invent. That means that your invention can be independently invented months or even years later by another entity, or worse yet, derived from a misappropriated trade secret. When that happens, you have suffered a post-emptive attack and are SOL. There are 2 ways to prevent post-emptive threats. Number 1, publish a trade secret in some obscure journal. This is getting more difficult as almost everything is digitized and searchable. Number 2 is be the first to patent. Which brings us to our second, patent. Novelty is a rare and precious thing. All novelty is built upon a foundation of prior art, but novelty must have at least one previously undisclosed element. Patents provide a 2-decade monopoly in countries where we file and where IP law is respected. Novelty is often not black and white. Rather, in the back and forth with a patent authority, claim language is often amended to narrow the scope of the original claim set. Whereas a broad claim may provide a robust, sustainable competitive advantage, a narrow claim is easier for a competitor to circumvent. You cannot be certain, a priori, whether broad language will survive an examiner's scrutiny. The conundrum results from that uncertainty. Many experience frustration because of this uncertainty and complain that the patenting effort was largely a waste of time. My advice, rather than complain about the uncertainty, do something about it. Reduce the uncertainty using 2 of the 3 magic loops, which I describe elsewhere. The forecasting loop and the circumvention loop reduce uncertainty, yield broader claims, and provide a more robust position. 18 months after filing a patent, the application is published. So all of what were formerly trade secrets fall squarely in the public domain. Do not file until you are assured of a favorable outcome. Let's start this slide and all subsequent slides with the contraindicated condition. If you are milking an old technology, don't spend resources making small incremental improvements. If you can't deliver a leapfrog, just collect the cash and be content. This discussion is not for you. If you are in a space where there is rabid novelty, many competitors or would-be competitors, and there remains a rich pile of market upside, continuous and enthusiastic improvements in technology will separate the winners from the also-ran wannabes. The patenting process complements passionate novelty in an underappreciated way. Normally, uncertainty is a bad thing, but it's a good thing if the uncertainty is that of your competitors. After filing a patent, you can and should proclaim a patent pending status, but you get to decide how much to reveal. From a competitor's perspective, they are uncertain precisely what you have claimed, and that lack of clarity blunts their development efforts. They could work their keisters off on an approach only to have their knees cut off when your claims come into focus. For the 18 months from filing to publication of the application, you are in complete control. After publication, the initial claims resolve, but divisional applications are still a moving target. If material is found within the specification, new claims can be crafted. This uncertainty can be amplified by filing still more patents so that your competitors never know what you will be claiming next. If there are many potential suppliers, exclusive supply delivers no value. If there are critical components with only a handful of suppliers, or certain heavily preferred suppliers, or a mandate for a limited number of domestic or allied suppliers, and you either co-develop the component, or better yet, you hold a patent on the technology, you can enter into an exclusive supply agreement without running afoul of antitrust issues. Such agreements can be quite powerful, as would-be competitors cannot use the supplier that is in the best position to deliver a critical component, even if they possess a circumventing technology. If you are not the first mover, you do not get to enjoy the benefits. However, history is littered with examples of first movers who squandered their advantages, moved quickly to leapfrog the first mover and supplant them. When most strategic thinkers consider the notion of first mover, they're thinking about the third bullet point, first to market. Even if you are the first to market, if a competitor was the first to file on an enabling technology, you are screwed. Many strategists file quickly just to avoid the being screwed part. The cognitive bias, loss aversion, drives humans toward that defensive approach. What a missed opportunity. A carefully crafted patent is an offensive weapon, and it's worth 10 times a patent proffered to defend against the hypothetical claims of a competitor or trolls. Sometimes scientific-centric firms may make it first to a technical milestone. Doing so will help with capital sources in the media, but the grand prize goes to the first to market with a viable product together with robust offensive patents. Investors, media, and customer attention will focus on you, which brings us to our sixth sustainable competitive advantage. Scale. You are an early mover, but you are a team of scientists and you do not have the capital to execute quickly. Now is not a good time to learn. Well before you reach this point, bring in an executive management team and finance team that'll let you rocket to scale. Now is not the time to be timid. Build, sell, build more, sell more. Spend the cash to build scale. Leave your competitors way behind. Your valuation will soar, which lowers your costs of capital. The future belongs to the bold. This is my least favorite sustainable competitive advantage. It is a necessary evil, a reality we cannot wish away. But if you can get it, use it. The sustainable competitive advantage is contraindicated when nobody cares about your market. That's not to say that you must give up. A social media campaign, a celebrity in your corner, or a lobbying effort to create care where there previously was none. Social imperatives trump other imperative flavors. If there is a groundswell of public opinion for, say, decarbonized energy, and you have a product that fills that need, the government might subsidize you directly, subsidize your customers, or tax firms of geopolitical foes. There are literally dozens of ways the government can help or hinder your business prerogatives. Do not get caught on the wrong side of these imperatives. Brand is the eighth and final sustainable competitive advantage. If you are a startup working on your first product, nobody knows who you are. It's never too early to begin. Analogous to the regulatory fiat of the previous slide, identify the imperative or imperatives which you will wrap your brand around. Use the press, social media, and other marketing tools right out of the gate to start building your brand. Remember that a brand only has as much value as the values of the firm. Which of the 8 sustainable competitive advantages should your firm embrace? All of them. None of these are easy. We started 9 minutes ago with Hamlet's rhetorical question, to patent or not to patent. Recently, I have heard many entrepreneurs struggling with this question, which is why I prepared this chat. They doubt the viability of pursuing patents. The process can feel confusing, the language foreign, the cost high. To learn to love the patenting process and to benefit from its fruits, learn about the 3 magic loops, which I describe elsewhere. They used to be secrets, but I share them openly now. Like any new skill, it takes time to perfect, but I can tell you that after 3 decades building a successful global monopoly that used all 8 of the strategic competitive advantages, I couldn't have done it without integrating trade secrets for the short term, patents for the medium term, and continuous improvement to extend a monopoly beyond the 20 years afforded by the patent laws. To Hamlet's question, I answer, patent.